Hey, this is dramatic. Hey everyone, this is Omar Ashano. I'm a jazz violinist from Israel, and I'm here to share with you Night Practice Live number 15. Um, and for a change, we're doing it on the topic of ear training today. So tune in, um, get your ears ready, and you don't necessarily need to have your instrument today. But if you have a keyboard at hand, it's actually maybe great to make use of that keyboard. Um, hello, Abdul Wahab. Hello, Lucy. Thank you for tuning in. We'll wait a little more for more people to join in. We're listening to Paul Hindemith, a great composer, that 20th century composer that I personally really like. And the reason why I chose to start this this night practice live session with Hindemith is because we're probably going to start with working from a book called Modus Novus, which is a book that works on atonal sight reading or solfege. So I'm getting us in the mood, in some atonal mood. Hindemith writing has a lot of atonality in it. So it's gonna be interesting. So this is Night Practice Live. I'm doing this every Sunday, every weekend. I'm sharing with you guys my practice routine and answer you guys questions. So if you have any questions along the way, you're welcome to write me down here in the comments. Oh, and I forgot to put in my comment here. Okay, here it is. So I would be very happy if you guys say hi, wave, give a like, something, tell us where you're from. Hello, Sabrina. Just so we know who's joining us today. So, if you have any questions also that you would like me, something that you would like me to address in the next session, you're also welcome to write here or write me in the comments, or send me a message and I'll address it in the next session. Oh, and happy Valentine's Day to everyone who's not celebrating it like me. So if you're here with me tonight, or maybe this morning for some of you, it might mean that you're not celebrating Valentine's Day for whatever reason. But that's great, because we can celebrate it together and celebrate self-love, healthy non-narcissistic self-love, and self-improvement. We're gonna improve our ears tonight. Hey, Raganuga. Oh, nice. Now this is actually string quartets by Hindemith. So this is quartet number 3 in C major, allegedly C major, as you can hear, but it's titled string quartet in C major. Oh, Vishnu. Okay, so that also explains your nickname, Raga Nuga. Nice. Thank you for tuning in. So as I like to start every week, I think I forgot to do it last week, but this week I'll do it. I always like to start by saying thanks and expressing gratitude towards something, to open the week with positive vibes. So this weekend, I can't be grateful for having someone in my life on Valentine's Day, but that's fine. We don't need someone all the time. But I just got back this weekend from from the desert. I spent some time in the desert for 2 days with two good friends of mine, and one of them brought a telescope, and we stargazed. And he taught me a little bit about astronomy, and some stuff that I'm really like ignorant about. I really have very limited knowledge in astronomy, so it was just amazing to see the stars, and we went to this point in the desert where it's really, really remote and very far off any town or city, so it's very dark, so we're really able to see the stars very like clearly in HD. um, so it's been amazing to get to see the stars in such high resolution, and spend some time in nature and in quiet with friends, and learning a little bit about astronomy, and expanding my knowledge in that realm, which is so fascinating. Outer space. uh, oh, awesome! Thank you, Vishnu. Thank you so much. Um, okay, so as I said, today's plan is to work on ear training. I think I'm going to start with actually something that is a little more advanced, which is modus novus, and as I said, it's solfege, atonal solfege, or sight reading. And we'll probably move on to some interval identification, some chords identification, work on that. Just I'll get this system working up again, because I haven't practiced ear training for a very long time, and also it's a good opportunity for you to see what are some of the things, some ways that I would approach working on ear training, and you get a chance here to actually make some guesses and really practice with me this time. So, all right, so let's start. Thank you, Hinamith. So Modus Novus, it's a very famous and epic book of solfege that was written by Lars, German dude. Where is it? Lars Edlund. Was a book that was written by Lars Edlund. I have no idea. I don't know anything about the guy. I assume he was a music educator or composer. And Modus Novus is a book that I used to work with a lot during university, college, for several years. It's part of curriculum in ear training classes in music academy. So I got to work on it with this book also during my studies in Israel, and also during my studies in New York in the New School. Really complex material, really hard stuff, and really demands you to know your intervals, because it's not diatonic. So you're constantly moving. You're basically moving without like a net, without some base that grounds you. You constantly need to be able to imagine and sing the next interval, just in that boundary of these two notes. You can't kind of rely on intuition as much as you can when you're reading diatonic solfege, and you kind of have a sound of the scale in your ear. So you just see the interval, and you can already kind of jump into that note because you know how it feels within that diatonic area. But with Modus Novus and tonality that keeps on moving, you can ground yourself to a tonic. You always need to calculate intervals. You're not really calculating. You just need to really know your intervals good. So initially, what I planned was to show you on the screen, show you the score on the screen, and then you can read it with me, and also kind of be my my audit and seeing how whether I'm succeeding or not. But then I figured that also it's that's as close as I can hold the camera, the phone, so you can also see me and the screens. And the bigger issue is that you're seeing a mirrored version of this shot, so you're not gonna be able to read whatever is on my screen anyway. So that sucks. But I think I'll just give a little time to working on Modus Novus, just to kind of give you an idea what it is. And later on, if any of you would like to, if you'd like a PDF of the book, just send me a message, and I'll send you a link on how you can get the PDF. It's really not complicated, so you can practice it yourself. Okay. So I've set up my keyboard here. Hope you guys are hearing it well. I think that's a good volume. Okay, so as we start this, the musical fragments are actually very short. Like it's only one bar that you're supposed to be singing together. So yeah, we have first time is just one bar, then we have 2 bars, then we have 3 bars. Okay, so first bar is just 3 notes. We're in 4/4 time, and the notes are A, B flat, A flat. Okay, so here's A. So A, B flat, A flat. A, B flat, A flat. That's it. That's the first fragment. Okay, we're really going in baby steps at first. Oh, and I think I'll sing it in Latin notation, just because it's easier for me to think about Latin notation, and I'm used to doing solfege in like do re mi fa sol la si do. So excuse me if I do it this way, but I will let you know what are the notes of each musical fragment before I actually sing it with the Latin version. Hello, Jean and Bo Bobby and C. Hager, violin. Yes, we're working on Modus Novus, which is it's a solfege book, atonal solfege book. Exercises, a bunch of exercises in that. So yeah, I wanted to work on it because developing this kind of sense and kind of feel for intervals without relying on a tonal center really helps us. It improves our sight reading, and it improves our hearing and our musical imagination. The ability to hear these intervals in our head and really not be tied to a tonal center with what we hear. So really work in terms of just 2-note intervals, which is a very small musical fragment, and having that control without being tied and too dependent on a scale, on a key signature, on one key signature, really opens up our musical perception. Okay, so we're moving on to fragment number 2. We have A, B flat, A flat, and then G natural, D natural. So A, B, La, Si, La, la, si, la, sol, re. Let's see if I got it right. Sol, re. Great. So I got that one right. Now the next one is F sharp, G, A, G sharp to D sharp. So it seems like it's kind of working on fourth, on perfect fourth, this this exercise, this page at least. We have some chromatic movement, and then we have at the end of each phrase ends with a perfect fourth to some direction. So again, F sharp, G, A, G sharp to D sharp. Fa, sol, la, sol, re dièse. Fa, fa dièse. Fa, sol, la, sol, re dièse. Sol dièse, re dièse. Okay, let's see if I got it right. I'm also not singing. I hope it doesn't confuse you too much, because sometimes I forget to sing. I forget to sing the accidental. I'll try to sing it with all the accidentals from now on. Okay. Fa dièse, sol, la, sol dièse, re dièse. Fa dièse, sol, la, sol dièse, re dièse. All right. Next we have D. D, G, A flat, G flat, F. D, Re, Sol, La, Sol, Fa. One more time. Re, Sol, La, Sol, Fa. Okay. Re, Sol, La, Sol, Fa. Yeah, that's a different one. D, C sharp, F sharp. That's just one tiny fragment, just one bar. Dotted quarter note of D, natural, eighth note C sharp, and then half note F sharp. Re, do, fa, re, do dièse, fa dièse. Okay, let's move on to. I just want to show you, something that is a little harder, and I think then we'll move on to intervals and chords, since it's it's a little more communicative with you guys. Let's see. Let's do number 17 here. So the notes are B, C sharp, C natural, B flat, A flat, G flat, E natural, F natural, G. This is insane. And it's like eighth notes and okay. C, do, do, si, la, si, do, do, si, la, sol, mi, fa, sol, si, do dièse, do bécamel, si, mol, la, sol, mol, mi, fa, sol. Ah! This is crazy. Si, do, diez, do, ca, do, si, mo, la, sol, mo, la bemol. Let me sing that in English. So just so you get it for a second, we have B, C sharp, C natural, B flat, A flat, G flat, E, F, G. The next one starts at D, 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 D. D, E, F, G, D, E, F sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A natural, G, F, E flat, F, G flat. Okay, so I think I got it right. Re, Re, mi, fa diez, la, sol, fa, mi, fa, sol bemol. Re, Re, mi, fa, sol diez, la, sol, fa, mi, fa, fa, sol bemol. It's hard for me to play and count, but seems like I got it right. So anyway, Modus Novus is real great. It's just will take your musical brain, you know, to the next sphere. Once you learn to control these exercises. Right now I'm doing it pretty slow. You know, ideally you would like to do that with a metronome and really, you know, go through these exercises. Not even, I mean, here each musical fragment is broken up. Shalom Anya. So here every musical fragment is broken up into like different exercises. But what you can do in order to take it to the next level, you can also just connect these musical fragments and like treat all this page as just one exercise and sing it, you know, throughout the whole thing with a metronome. That's the real deal. Right now I just gave you a taste of it. Again, if you'd like to try it out, send me a message. Just send me a private message, and I'll send you the PDF of Modus Novus. Yeah, then like later on, it's just like it explores different intervals. Like the last page was kind of focused on perfect fourth. Here we just have mostly just chromatic motion in interesting directions. Then we have a chapter that works more on thirds and basically going through every interval. And then like towards the end of the book we have more we have like chord series. That's actually interesting. Maybe we should look at that, of like clusters and for example, yeah, so the thing about that one, I remember what yeah, that's tricky. So what we did back in college, one of my teachers, I took this advanced ear training class for 1 year. So he would just play us all this series of chords, like all the first line, as just as one exercise, and he would just play each chord one after the other, and then we would have to write down all the notes that we heard for each for each chord. And obviously he only tells us what is the first note. So the exercise starts like this, and he tells us this is a D, okay, and that's all we know. And then from there on, we need to calculate all the other notes that are being added. So we have a D, ba ba, re sol, and then we add la re sol, and la re mi, la re mi. English. A D E. Hello, Aru Jammed. The next one is. So basically, everything is. No, not everything is around D. We have A D E, and then C D E. Nikki, what we're doing here is basically for me to try and dance ballet. That's the equivalent, I guess, of doing a pirouette. Then we have B flat D E. B flat D E. B flat D sharp E. B flat D sharp E. Maybe that's an easier register to work on this. We have B flat D sharp E. We have the fourth here. A flat, B flat D sharp. I don't know why. Oh, because they wanted. I don't know actually why they not why is it written as a D sharp instead of an E flat? Because it's a fourth basically, right? Ba, 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 ba. But for some reason it's written B flat, D sharp, and E natural. Ba-na-na. Well, anyway, maybe that's a little too advanced. So we'll get to these kind of clusters, I think, actually later once we go over some more basic, some lighter intervals, and not like chords or clusters. But yeah, this is Modus Novus. Really recommend to have some work done with it. Spend some time with this book. Again, if you'd like to get the book, just send me a message. Send me a message. I'll just send you a PDF. All right. Okay, so let's move on to just working on basic. Well, not that basic intervals, but something that I feel like I haven't put enough work in. Well, did you read the just like basic theory handbook first before getting to jazz theory? That's like next level. So you want to take the path from the first step. So something that I feel like I haven't put in enough work to is working on basically. I don't know if it has a name, but just intervals that are bigger than octave. So 9th, 11th, 10th, like there are names for, there's like nona is 9, and then decima is 10. Right, so start with that. And see if you get that. If you get the book perfectly, then move on to jazz theory. Anyway, who cares about jazz, you know? It's all about trap music these days. So yeah, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, and that's when we kind of covered all of the other intervals that are being used, usually above the octave. So let's start with ninth, with natural ninth, okay? So it's not it's not a very dissonant interval. It's not very stable either. But hello, Mariangela. It's not very stable either, but it's not as dissonant as a flat ninth. So we'll start with a natural ninth, and then we'll explore the flat ninth or sharp ninth. So what does a ninth interval means? It basically means one note after your fundamental note, but an octave up, right? So if we start from C, then a ninth would be D. So like C, D, but that D an octave above it. Let's see how it sounds. So that's C, okay? And here's D. And here's D an octave up. So here's C and D as a ninth. Let's take it an octave down, so my head doesn't explode while I sing. C, that's low for me. C, D. Yeah, so the way to work on intervals and also recognize intervals of any kind, is to find it on the keyboard or whatever instrument you'd like to work with. Hello, Jennifer. How you doing? Well, for anyone who's joining in now, this night practice live number 15. I was about to say 5, but number 15. And I just share with you guys my practice routine. Okay, so today we're doing some ear training to make your brain fart. That's the topic. Ear training to make your brain fart. So it's a little more advanced ear training that we're doing today. Just because I need more work on that area. If you have any questions, anything, feel very welcome to ask. Anything you'd like me to cover, you know. So try to like participate. Try to sing whatever, you know, whatever I'm doing here, and see if you're able to sing it. And I mean everyone, not just someone who's a singer. Like we should all practice singing. This is how we develop our inner ears and inner musicality. Okay, so C and D. So first I would just play the 2 notes, just listen to them, and then just try to repeat them. Ba, ba. And then I'll just spend some time with hearing it together as an interval, as a double stop, and try to isolate in my ear. Try to kind of isolate the 2 notes and be able to hear each note individually, even though they're played together. So search for the C in your ears, and then search for the D. Da, da, C, D. Now let's take this ninth somewhere else. Let's do E flat And then let's see if you know what is the next, what is the ninth of E flat? We're in E flat, yeah. So we have F, right? E flat going to F, but an octave up. So E flat going to F, E flat, F. But then we throw this F an octave up. F. So E flat, F. So I just listen to it first. And try to sing it back. E flat, F, E flat, F. And then listen to it as an interval. You know, and try to hear, as I said, try to isolate the two notes in your head. Let me put on some more reverb on that, so we get some sauce. That's more like it. Oh wow. Okay. It's kind of a weird sound, but whatever. Da, E flat, E flat, F. Let's do another one. A ninth, a natural ninth above, G. So that would be A. Right? G, A. So we're listening to it as an interval and try to sing it. Find the two notes and sing them. G, A. Okay, so the next stage, after we just, now I'm doing a very very quick version of, you know, fast motion of how I would actually practice this, because this is something that you need to spend like hours and days with before you move on, you know, throughout the different stages. But after you get used to hearing an interval and just, you know, just spending some time listening to it and trying to sing it back, the next stage is to try and create the interval. So you take a note, a loud note, D in this case, and you just listen to that one note, and then you try to sing the ninth above it. Okay? So we know that the note should be E natural, okay, which is a whole step above D. A ninth is always a whole step. Well, it's basically not a whole step, but it's like an whole step plus an octave, right, above. So we go one step up from D, from D, and we take it an octave up. So that would be E. E, D, E, B here. So we're going to the ninth. We're going a whole step up from B. We get to C sharp. Can you sing it already, the ninth? So a good way to start, if you don't really hear the ninth yet, a good way to go about it would be to try and just sing a whole step above, if you're able to do that. So just like imagine the B or B going to one step up to C sharp, but then you take this C sharp, C sharp, C sharp. Okay, so B, C sharp. I'm actually, here it is, our octave. B, C sharp. I'm a little out of tune. B, C sharp. B, C sharp. No, we did that one. Let's start it from C sharp now. So, ninth over C sharp. So, C sharp is going to D sharp. C sharp, C sharp, C sharp, D sharp, C sharp, D sharp. Okay, next let's try a different one. Let's try Let's try 11th, which 11th equals a fourth above, okay? A fourth and an octave. So let's do F, yeah. So a fourth up from F is B flat. B flat, F, B flat. So that would be F to B flat, but an octave above. B flat, F, B flat. Taking the one. So here we have A flat. So the 11th would be D flat. A flat. It's hard for me. A flat. So again, since I don't really hear the 11th, I can hear the 4th well. So I'm just trying to sing the 4th first and then take it up an octave. So A flat, D flat, A flat, A flat. So that is definitely an interval that I don't hear yet. I can't imagine it right away. It's easy for me. It's easier for me to imagine the 9th. But the 11th, I am able to imagine and feel the 4th, the perfect 4th. But the 11th, I still don't have it in my ears. I need to do this, to walk this path, right? Where I go to the 4th first and then just transpose it up an octave. So ideally we want to be able to imagine the 11th. We want to be able to imagine our target note right away without doing this this trick of finding it within the lower octave and then throwing it up an octave. A flat, A flat, A flat, B, B. I don't think I can sing the higher note. So we have B, the 11th would be an E. Yeah. B. Let's take G. 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 C. Oh, I don't have the G. C. Okay. G. C. We've been at A flat already. Let's go D. 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 G. Okay. So this way would go through different intervals that we feel that we're not very confident about, and we'll just practice singing them and listening to them, and that's the way to go about it. Now let's just jump forward, just because I feel like it. I just feel like throwing my finger. This is like really going forward in several levels, which I hope you'll excuse me for, but I feel like that's something I want to practice, and also you can see kind of where you can get with ear training, to what are things that you can practice and develop when you're at higher levels in it. So right now what I would do, because I want to surprise myself, right? So it's really, mostly the efficient way to practice ear training is if someone else is playing things for you, and then you need to identify those things. Now, if you know what you're playing, it kind of sabotages the process a little bit. So something I like to do, and I can do because I don't know the keyboard that well, is just throw my fingers randomly at the keyboard, and then try to guess what notes I played. Okay, so first you can start doing that with just like 2-note intervals. Just take two. Sorry. So right now I played basically a tenth, kind of a tenth. Like I hear a major third, da, da, and then da, da. So that's like a major third, da, da. So that was, I played D, so that is an F sharp. F sharp. So that is a major seventh, but like up an octave. So how is that called? That is 14th. That's a major 14th basically. Like it's like a major 7th but up an octave. Da, 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 but then up an octave. Da, da. So I have here B flat and A. Okay, that's how you can start, challenging yourself just with intervals. Then you can do it with taking 3 notes, okay, and so on. So what I would like to do is this. Okay, so I have a crazy chord here. It's actually nice. It sounds like kind of a dominant 7th chord. Oh, not right now. Well, it still sounds very tensed, but I want to try and... It's actually too low in register, so I think it's really gonna be hard to recognize all the notes here. Let me try and take that up an octave. Okay. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 8 notes here. And my goal is to try and find all these notes that I'm playing. Now, what happens with practice and through time as you develop your ears more and more, you learn the skill of isolating the notes and the pitches that you hear in your head. So instead of hearing just like a of sound, you're able to, that's the first thing you hear, okay? You just like a cluster of sounds. It sounds like one sound. Your brain collects everything into an object of one sound, one complex sound. But then, as you practice, you're able to kind of turn on your isolating skill and start breaking up the different pitches that you hear out of it. So I would start by trying to just recognize what is the lowest note that I'm hearing and the top note that I'm hearing. Do, da. So da, do. So I got it right. I have 2 notes already. 6 more to go. So I think that's what I'm hearing at the bottom 4 notes. Da, da. So it's important when you listen to this, you want to listen to it over time, because what happens with the overtones and the frequencies of all these notes, that because of, I can't show you, I can't visualize that with the hand because I want to keep them in the same spot so I don't lose this whatever chord I'm playing. But the thing with these chords, with any chord, is that because of the movement of the frequencies, at different points in time, there will be different frequencies that stand out because of the shape of the wave. So at the first second you might hear the top note, and then like a millisecond after you'll hear one of the middle notes standing out, and then a millisecond after you'll hear another note in that series standing out. So it's really important to kind of, I feel like I'm doing kind of a sweep scanning of the sound. I try to think of the note that I feel like I'm hearing, and then I sweep through this like sound, and try to find, if I just kind of sing that note in my mind, then I can see if it's there or not. I'm hearing ha, but I don't know if that's an overtone or is it actually, am I actually playing that? I gave myself a tough one. Jeez. So now I'm trying to scan it from the top, going from top to bottom. Okay. Okay, so I got that one wrong except for one note. I mean, I got one note wrong. I thought it was da 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 da. Yeah. So that was the chord. I didn't find all of them. I found most of the notes. Like I got that one I got wrong, and then that one I was able to find, but not singing from bottom to top. It's also hard for me because there's too many octaves here. My range. That was a really tough one. Let's try another one. Let's try with 6 notes, okay? I pushed myself too far. 3 random notes. Oh, yes. Okay, let me do another one. So I have the lowest note is bum and is the highest note. Da. Do 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 do. So I have the lower chord, the lower triad is ba ba ba, and then the top one is da do da dee. Here's the top one. Ba 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 ba. It's hard for me to sing it, in the correct order. Because of my vocal range, but it's basically, so in the top chord, the top triad we have is ba ba ba, and then we have da, and then we have da. I forgot. Ba 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 da do do dee, and then the top we have do 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 do, and then we have ba 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 ba. It's too hard for me to sing the full chord. Da. I'll just again. Ba 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 ba, and then ba ba ba. What we actually have here, if you're wondering what's the theory behind it, we have an augmented, we have B augmented chord, and then we have an A flat major, but first inversion on top. That's A flat triad, first inversion. The bottom we have B augmented. All right. So yeah, that's the kind of stuff that I would challenge myself. And you see that it is challenging for me. Putting aside the range thing, I should try and figure out where to practice it, so it better sits with my range. So I am able to really sing the chord from bottom to top. But putting that aside, recognizing the notes is hard, right? We have a lot of notes, and it doesn't resemble any known type of common chord that we use in music, in jazz music or any other music. It's basically like it's a cluster. We have like just two chords placed on top of each other, and it creates a very interesting and dense sound. So it's really hard to recognize all the notes in it, but this is really, like digging into your ears. So that was a very broad, cover of ear training exercises, but more on the advanced side. If you guys have any questions, or you'd like me to give you some ideas for more basic ear training exercises, how you can adapt these kind of exercises, but for more basic level, or if you'd like to get more ideas for more advanced ear training exercise, please reach out. And again, if you'd like a copy of Modus Novus, just hit me up, send me a message, and that's it. I hope I didn't give you guys a headache. Enjoy Valentine's Day or evening, for if you're celebrating it. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next Sunday. Right, I'm here every Sunday, 8 p.m. Central Europe time, 2 p.m. New York time. So if you're anywhere else, which you probably are, welcome to figure out what time it is for you. But yes, I would love to see you next time. If there are any topics you'd like me to cover next time, again, you're welcome to reach out. So thanks, good night, good morning, and good afternoon.